The following podcast contains explicit language.
Hello and welcome to Alcohol You Later, or as the Bible defines as, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Alcohol You Later is a lively discussion about wine and spirits. I'm your host, Bobby Hougham, and I'm here with Elyas Beria and Chris Price.
Gnashing of teeth. That sounds like something you do when you're on cocaine.
Oh, yeah.
Today we're going to discuss the Booker's Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. We're also going to try the GD Vajra Langhe Rosso 2017 and the Ancarani Andataeritorno. Retorno.
That's exactly right. You got it.
All right.
Are you
Your
Italian?
accent, Bobby, it just made me fall in love with you, that accent.
Thanks for listening in. It was good to know you. Today we are continuing with our COVID-19 episodes. This is a bit new for us, but we're trying to figure it out as we go. For the next few episodes, we're going to be trying different options and recording techniques, which may not sound as polished as normal, but definitely reflects our new normal. We are each recording from our own homes using video conferencing to see each other, and we have sent each other samples of the bottles we're talking about. Please help us get it right.
In case you can't tell, Bobby's reading this off a teleprompter.
Totally. And if you go to the website and view the episode, you'll definitely see evidence of that.
Well, I'm just going to get started. Keep going, Bobby.
Please help us get it right and send us feedback on our Facebook or Instagram at AYL the podcast, or there is an email link on our website at alcoholu.com. Oh my God, guys, what a week.
What a week. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty freaking bored at home. Are you guys bored?
I'm not bored at all.
You're not bored?
No,
dude. Gamers don't get bored.
Oh, gamers. Gamers got a game.
It's like you have there's the three people. There's gamers. Or no, there's normal people who in the coronavirus, they're like laying there weeping, upset.
Yeah, uh-huh.
There's gamers, and they're like, yes, we've been training for this for our entire lives. I can sit in front of my computer and poop into a sock and pee into a jug for days at a time without remorse. And then there's people who have young children, and they're just trying to keep their house from setting on fire.
Yeah. Well, you happen to be in a household of both those things, but apparently you don't care.
Oh man.
I was so bored the other day that I thought about actually taking a bath. And then I was like, oh my God, I think I'm depressed and going to kill myself, because that's really the only time a man would ever take a bath is when they're about to commit suicide. Like, I don't even know why we have a bath. Like, baths are just for babies and women, you know, and I don't know of any men who take baths.
I always get cold when I take a bath.
Yeah, the water
I've taken one bath in the last, 3 years. And it's like every 3 years, I'm like, it sounds nice. Maybe I'll take a bath.
Really?
And then I get in there and I'm like, this is gross.
Yeah.
You're just getting out of the bath.
You're just stewing in your own filth. But I don't even I think the only reason there are baths in houses is just for property value. Because if you didn't have a bath, you wouldn't have the full bath to put on the property listing, I
think you might be right.
That's really the only reason. And I guess if you have babies, and I don't even know why we give babies baths, because they're the most babies and drunk people are the two people that most likely will drown, right? But then we'll put a baby, and you could drown in 3 inches of water, but we put a baby in there. I don't know why we don't just turn the shower on and be like, here, baby, play with the raindrops, Instead, we put them in a danger tub and here, I hope you survive. Good luck.
Is that what you call it?
Sometimes some people do it.
The danger tub.
Some people do it by design, and they put their baby in the tub on purpose.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put you in here and let you splash around while I go make dinner. Okay.
Make dinner.
Be careful.
By make dinner, you mean drink a bottle of wine.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
be careful.
So that's how bored I was. I was like, maybe I'll take a bath. And I was like, no, I'm suicidal. I need to not do this. This is a terrible idea. But
Never mind.
maybe I should start gaming.
Or you could get a job.
I mean, fortunately, I have to say, look, there's so many people that have been affected by this, and, a lot of people have lost their jobs. I mean, a lot of people, obviously, but fortunately, I am still somewhat working. I'm not working full time, but I have enough that it is keeping me busy during the day for the most part. And then, fortunately, my wife is working full time. So then I have enough time to do sort of other stuff, like I can start making dinner. And so we kind of have a routine. You know what I mean?
Your routine really hasn't changed much, though, has it?
Not much. No, not really. not at all. I mean, fortunately, we were pretty well suited for quarantine because we did cook almost every night. Like, I cooked almost every night, and then we would go out like maybe on a Friday or a Saturday, and that just has gone away. So, I'm just cooking like a couple more nights a week now. So, that hasn't changed, but
That's a bonus.
yeah, just the way I shop has changed. I used to just go to the grocery store every day, and obviously that is not advised anymore. So,
Are you guys masks or no masks when you're in the grocery store? I know Bobby for sure is.
Oh, Bobby's for sure a masker.
I'm totally suited up.
Yeah, I don't mask and I don't wear gloves. I just, I'll wash my hands before and after. But we're also not like disinfecting our groceries and stuff either. So
okay, I mask. I wear gloves, and when I put all the groceries in the back of my car. I have a separate plastic tub, and then when I get home, I wipe down every grocery item with disinfecting cloth and put them into the tub. Anything that goes in the tub comes in the house. Anything that's not in the tub does not get to come in the house.
Okay, what do you do now, though?
Over.
That was like you 4 months ago.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
Still,
that's
keeping it vigilant.
Good. That's good. I think everybody has their different sort of levels. I guess I'm not afraid of death. I don't know.
I'm in the small camp where I actually, unlike a lot of people, want my family members who are a little older to get coronavirus.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really good for them.
What a elegant solution.
It'll improve their attitude a lot. But before I come over and hang out for Easter, guys, I want you to talk to my attorney who handles arrangements around wills and property after, they'd just like to take a look at that.
Sign here in triplicate.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Lisa mattress.
Well, that's easy to do because the Lisa mattress is one of the best mattresses available on the market. And you could try it out for, 100 nights?
100 nights, 100-night trial
100
period.
nights. That's
100
amazing.
nights, yeah. That's pretty good.
And,
it's got handles on the side that you can latch things to. Did you know that? It has like little
ropes?
handles. Yeah, it's got handles where you can put, you can tie stuff onto them.
Like bungee cords?
Elliott's just trying to figure out what he can do with those handles right now.
It's actually really extremely useful and versatile. You can do all kinds of stuff.
And you can do all kinds. Lisa mattress. It's got handles. You can do all kinds of stuff.
And where can I get my Lisa mattress?
Well, you can order it online.
Where?
Do you want the
Bobby?
handle version or the non-handle version?
I want one with extra handles.
Extra handles?
You can go to our website at alcoholu.com and click on the link.
And then they will make it to order and send it to you.
It'll be sent to you for free, and you can return it after 100 days, or within 100 days. Well, hey, so why don't we do? You want to do Rochambeau is kind of tough with this.
No, let's try it. Let's do it.
You want to try it?
Sure.
All right, I'm just gonna. Why don't you guys, just you two, do it? Adding me.
Okay,
in there
ready,
is just
Chris?
gonna-
Like we normally do every single week?
Yeah, every single week.
Okay, sounds good.
Ready?
Okay, you ready?
Uh-huh, yeah.
1, 2, 3.
3. I was like, I was trying to make it look like there was a delay, and I was gonna wait to see what Chris did. But I did paper. Well, you did scissors.
Like 1, 2.
I lost.
3.
I lost. Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'll go first. That sounds good.
So Chris, you went first. Go, or you get to go first. What do you got?
I have something interesting here. It is called the Ancarani, or maybe it's Ancarani. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, but
it's probably Ancarani.
Ancarani.
That's my
delicious,
guess. That's my guess.
The name of it is Andataeritorno, and that means round trip in Italian.
Whoa, which no one's making these days.
Nobody's making a round trip in Italy.
Only one-way trips.
You go in. You enter Italy, aka Heaven's Waiting Room, and you only exit one direction.
Oh my God, we are the worst people on the internet right now.
So these guys only grow native wines to their region, and so this is a biodynamic wine. It's an orange wine. Talk about that in a second.
What are the grapes, Chris?
What are the grapes in this?
Yeah.
They're white grapes.
You don't know shit about this wine.
Romagna. This is absolutely one of my favorite wines. So there's 3 different grapes that they blend for this: Albana, Famoso, and Pignoletto. I've never heard of any of those grapes. Have you guys? Don't act like you have.
What was the first one?
Albana, Famoso, and Pignoletto.
I don't know. Pignoletto maybe, but those are uncommon names. But they could also be names for white grapes that are called just something else in some other region, and they just call them that there. You know what I mean? It's just Europe is so highly regional, and the names are just impossible.
This is a really nice wine.
I totally agree with you.
A really nice midday light.
Oh, it's great. It's fantastic. This is a good drinker for pretty much any time. It's awesome. Elyas will want to take this thunder so bad, but I'm going to talk about orange wine real quick.
Oh, I was going to ask. I was going to ask you.
You're like, what makes an orange wine exactly?
Yeah, Chris.
So the process that they do here is they take all of those grapes, they mash them up, they stick them in a vessel. Usually it's either ceramic or cement. One of those 2 types. Interesting, right? Not steel like the one last week. No, that was garbage wine. And then you leave them fermenting by themselves for a while, but with skins attached, not removed.
The skins are attached they're attached to the juice?
They're attached to the juice.
Wow.
No, the skins are attached to the grapes when they get to that macerated process. The skins are attached
to the grapes. Okay, so
they're not removing them. And basically when it sits in that tank, they're sitting there sometimes like over a year, sometimes less.
A year?
A couple months to at the top end, a year.
With the skins?
Or more. Yeah, that's what all of the different wine things that I read about orange wine say. They say it ranges with skins and seeds.
You have no fucking idea. There's no
Both.
way. So this wine was not in skin contact for a year at all.
Not this one.
No, not
I'm
this
saying
one.
orange wines in general.
Oh yeah, and it's possible. Sure.
Yeah. Isn't that possible?
Sure.
See what I told you? Like, Elyas just wants the easy softball wine questions so bad that he just can't help himself. Oh, he just wants it so bad. He can't help himself.
I just love that. Go ahead. All right.
So, there you go. Drink it. Tell me what you think.
I just love
delicious.
that Chris is in the orange wine phase of newbie natural wine drinking. It's like
Let me tell you.
Everyone goes through that. A friend of mine who is a wine shop owner, who I will not disclose her name for anonymity, she was like trying to figure out this whole coronavirus thing, and they were trying to figure out what to do and how to go forward to sort of mitigate their exposure to the public and stuff. And like people were still coming in and like shop. This was sort of a while ago, and still shopping and stuff. And she just wanted to get people out the door. And she was like, if one more person asks me for fucking orange wine, I'm going to scream. People just like walking in, do you have any orange wine?
Elyas, where did orange wine come from? Who coined that term?
That was coined by, the head Oompa Loompa was named Gregorio Fantorini.
So this guy, David Harvey.
David Harvey.
The term.
There was a delay. It was David
wine.
Harvey. Hello?
This guy. So David Harvey, he's a British wine importer. And he coined the term orange wine to describe non-interventionist styles of winemaking.
I was going to say that.
So, I mean, that's cool. I remember the first time I heard the term orange wine. It was when it was probably like 5 years ago, and Elyas and I, with all of our fams and friends, were out at the what was that place called? Over in the Madrona area. The Insane Asylum.
Bottle shop?
Bottle shop. We're outside, and we were getting after it. Man, we drank a lot that day.
We got orange
started
crunk.
like noon. We got orange crunk, and Elyas is just like, they have orange wine. Oh my god!
So that was at
and
my
like
orange wine phase, which like 4 years ago.
He's like ordering orange wine after orange wine after orange wine, and the people there were like, "You know about orange wine? We're going through our orange wine phase too." And they all like did a big like orange wine circle jerk.
Yeah, it was great.
And then
it's actually a perfect day for orange wine. This wine would be amazing sitting out on a patio. If you look behind, if you're on our website and you're watching the video, you'll see what the weather is like in Seattle by looking over Elyas's shoulder.
Look over my shoulder. It's gorgeous out, and this wine is really fantastic. I am still a giant. I mean, I cannot have enough orange wine. And
this particular one is insane.
This one is good because it's not too over the top. It's not hazy. It doesn't have like an incredible amount of extraction on the skin, so it's not like super tannic. It's not challenging. It's not a challenging orange wine.
No,
it's not overly sweet. It feels pretty well balanced.
I like the it's almost like there's a little tiny bit of citrus and some like some tart fruit, like I'm not going to say cherry, but like apricot.
Exactly,
kind of.
Apricot. I was going to say it smells like a tart apricot skin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it has like a little bit of that apricot skin sort of tart tanginess to it.
The nose on this is really wonderful.
Yeah, this is a wine that I'll find myself. I bought about 24 bottles of this wine. Let's see, how long ago?
3 days ago.
No, it's been about 2 weeks, like just a little bit under 2.5 weeks ago. I have 3 bottles of it left.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Welcome to Corona quarantine.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no shit,
You're in
man.
Corona country.
This just happens to be a wine that I open up every day around, I don't know, I'm going to say 2 p.m. And I just have a little bit.
Just smash
throughout
through
the
it.
day.
Yeah. I mean, it's really fantastic. I highly recommend anybody to get this. I think anybody who typically says, I think like you, Bobby, you wouldn't consider yourself a white wine fan. At least you didn't.
Oh, no, I really don't like white wine. This is actually one of the very few that I've had that
right?
Yeah.
It has there's enough substance there that if you're like, I don't like white wine, but you do like wine, red wines, there's like some substance here that it's not just sort of a watery, tart, nothing wine.
It's not a
complex.
Common. Yeah, it's not a common, like what, for me, being relatively ignorant to white wine in general, when I approach white wine, it all more or less tastes the same, which I know for anybody that actually drinks wine is probably a pretty ignorant thing to say, but
sure,
it is fairly ignorant. That's the way it seems to me. This wine when I first tried it, and today still feels like there's enough difference in it and complexity, and it's not typical. It's really nice, and it is. I am saving the rest of this glass so I can go and sit out on my patio, and
yeah, it's a very nice day to do that.
Well, I'd offer you a bottle here at some point, but there'll be none left. And
because your wife drank it all.
As far as I know, there's none left at all.
Anywhere in the world?
Anywhere in Seattle, at least. I think I got the last
we bought a
of them.
bottle from Molly the other.
Oh, yeah.
Did you get the last bottle or two? Okay. You're like, maybe.
Well, you can.
Elyas,
always,
what'd you bring?
I'll be looking to Molly to get the rest of them. Then fine. There'll be none left for you two because I'm texting her right now. All the rest of it.
You can always go on winesearcher.com. That's always a good resource to see if a particular wine is available in your area or not.
Oh.
I have. This is one of our favorite sort of grocery store wines. This is the Goddamn Vajra, GD Vajra. I assume that GD stands for goddamn.
I agree with that.
This is the Langhe Rosso. So I'll talk about price later. But
we're doing Italy together today.
yeah, we're doing Italy because I think this episode's going to be airing like around Cinco de Mayo. So
absolutely,
Italy.
Italian Cinco de Mayo. Yeah. Dude.
But this is just this is actually a conventional wine. This is not a natural wine.
Whoa.
But I think they do. There's a lot of sort of natural ethos behind it. This is a winemaker. This family's been making wine for not like hundreds of years, like a lot of old winemaker families in Europe, but it's like since the 20s. They sort of had a poor like farming background where they were sort of like sharecroppers, and they would grow grapes and maybe sell them to a cooperative. But then at some point decided to just start making their own wine. And, when they started making wine, it was not a commercially viable product. They probably mainly made it for themselves and then just sold it around the village. And then at some point, the Italian government instituted the DOCG regulations, which sort of demarcated wine regions within Italy. So this then, if you've heard of Barolo, this is made in the Piedmont, which is where Barolo comes from. Langhe is also in Piedmont, and it's the same region. And so these names sort of tell you a little bit about what grapes are in here. So Barolo is typically made from Nebbiolo grapes. So if you get a Barolo from them, that's going to be Nebbiolo. This is a Langhe Rosso, which could be either Nebbiolo, Dolcetto, or Barbera. And so this is a blend of those three grapes. But
Bobby's extremely interested.
Bobby's so interested that he just totally left. But stylistically, this although it's not a natural wine per se, I do believe, and I could be wrong about this, but I do believe at some point they were certified organic. So there is a sort of farmer driven natural wine ethos that is there from when the father started this winery, and now his son runs it. That is still there, and maybe through the years they went through different phases of, they tried adding more sulfur and so on. But tasting it now, it definitely stylistically is in the same ballpark as a lot of the natural wines that I drink. And it just comes from a sort of an older European winemaking ethos, and not sort of a mass market. So, there are brands that you can walk into a lot of like grocery stores, at least higher end grocery stores across the country, and you'd be able to find this. And it's probably stylistically and just in terms of the winemaking ethics and the amount that they produce, probably a better choice than, say, something else that is more of like a commercial product. that you could get. So this one is just one that, and the labels are gorgeous too, which, I'm huge into labels. They have beautiful labels. But this wine is often compared to the characteristic that a lot of people use to describe it as Burgundian. So it's sort of akin to a Pinot Noir, where it's a little bit lighter bodied. It's not a huge, opaque, dark monster. It's a little bit more complex. Has a little bit more delicate aromas, and produced in a lighter, lower alcohol style. This is 13.5%, which I think is, right in the middle, just right.
It has a finish on it that reminds me of like when my wife and I went and visited Italy. There was several wines that I remember having at dinner, and I just thought that there was an interesting finish on all of them, or on a few of them anyway.
Yeah.
And this actually reminds me of that.
And I think that that's a really good point to bring up, because there is, like, if you drink enough wine and you become a professional drinker, there is a point at which you could open an Italian wine that is sort of, made with this ethos in terms of being just an agricultural product of that region. But across Italy, you could pour it out, smell it, and say, this is an Italian wine. There's a certain aroma and note that is in the wine that is just, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like, okay, this is Italian. There's like a dustiness to it. There's, I don't know, just some characteristic that separates it from how it smells and tastes from an Italian wine. I mean, from a Spanish wine to a California wine to whatever else, to a French wine. But this definitely has that. I mean, I smell it and like instantly transported to Italy.
Mm-hmm. It's good.
Yeah, it's nice. It's tangy, maybe like unripe raspberry sort of notes.
Mm-hmm. It's a little sour. It's got
a little sour, but not too much.
No.
Yeah, a little
when
bit.
When I
of
taste
acidity.
this, I'm instantly transported to whatever factory this was created in. That's where I go to.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't think they do. They don't do
They
factories.
extract everything,
But
they separate all the pieces. They add in the chemicals.
listen to you. You've become an insufferable natural wine
This is just
jerk.
like this is just conventional garbage.
I can't
Look at your
believe
conventional wine.
I can't believe
I bet I
you're,
could pour this in my car and it would burn it.
you're a
'cause that's
bigger
all it's
natural
made
wine
of.
jerk than I am. But this
Is
this vineyard is a little bit higher elevation. It's like 1,300 feet. And so if you're looking for, like, stylistically, if you want something that maybe is a little bit lighter, a little bit more complex, typically higher elevations lead to that style, because they're those grapes tend to be like, there's less rainfall. There's the soil is not as rich, so the grapes have to struggle a bit more. There are fewer grapes that are produced per vine, and
also at those altitudes. There's higher skilled workers at lower prices.
yeah, because they have nothing else to do.
Yeah,
What
I
else they
mean,
can do?
what are they going to do up there?
So anyway, yeah, like a high altitude wine. They're typically, the grapes are not as ripe as lower, warmer altitudes. So it just produces a more complex, lighter bodied wine, and that's what we love to drink. So anytime, like, if I can't make it down to the natural wine shop, and I'm at Metropolitan Market, our local grocery store, I'll pick up one of these, and it's always good. Never complain.
Is it
about
always in stock? Is it readily available?
Pretty much. I've never really seen it out of stock. This is one that is definitely made in larger quantities, more commercial quantities than, say, a lot of the stuff that we typically drink. So it is almost always there. But then this is going to be one of those wines that our few listeners who do listen to us scattered across the country. There's probably the highest chance of most of the wines that we've covered that they could walk into a wine shop or a grocery store, especially a nicer grocery store, and pick this up. So, or some wine by this producer, whether it's the Barolo, those tend to be a little bit more expensive, obviously, or a Dolcetto or something else. But yeah, it's more readily available, and I know that I can go and I'll love it, and it's up our alley in terms of what we drink.
Excellent. You guys want to learn about some whiskey?
Yeah, for sure.
Or try some whiskey? So this is the Booker's Kentucky Straight. Booker is sixth generation Jim Beam.
What does that mean?
Like Jim Beam was actually his great-grandfather or something like that.
That was a real person?
Yeah.
I thought it was...
Bobby gave me an adult pour this week.
Yeah, you guys made out.
I got quite a bit here.
Me too. I'm going to be like, my plan is complete.
This day's going to be over soon.
Okay, so just a really quick recap. Bourbon must be produced in the U.S. from at least 51% corn mash and stored in a new container of charred oak. White.
This
American
is amazing.
Yeah. Straight bourbon, which this is, to be classified as straight bourbon, it has to conform to all the guidelines for bourbon and be aged in that charred oak container for at least 2 years. If it's aged less than 4 years, an age statement needs to also appear on the label. And then Kentucky straight bourbon just means that it's been aged and distilled distilled and aged at least 1 year in Kentucky. So this is Kentucky straight bourbon.
So how long was this aged again?
This one is actually aged
like a minimum of 4 years. Is that what you're saying?
So if it's labeled straight, and it's less than 4 years, you have to put an age statement on the label.
Okay.
This one was actually aged 7 years and 0 months. And for those of you at home, if you're viewing this, to see if you can actually see that. Is that clear or not?
Careful, don't pour it out.
A little bit.
Right there.
There. Yep. And what's that? What is it that I'm reading?
That's just this is the independent label that they put on there. It tells you what the alcohol per volume is, and how long it aged. So this, like I mentioned, was Jim Beam. Booker is Jim Beam's grandson. It was started by him. He was basically their master distiller, the Beam master distiller, and he went into the center of the rack house to get different casks, different barrels that he was sampling, and because he found that the ones that were in the center tended to age a little bit better, create different notes that he liked, and so he had started blending different barrels together to get the right flavor profile that he was looking for. And then he labeled it as his own, as Booker's. So it's basically Jim Beam, but it's like a high grade, nice blend of Jim Beam. And I have to say, I can't stand Jim Beam, but this is, I have a real hard time. Like, I've had plenty of opportunities to drink Jim Beam, and it's not ever a pleasant one for me. But this is really quite amazing.
It smells really complex.
The one other thing is it's also it's labeled as a small batch, and it's labeled as cask strength. So small batch, there isn't a legal description of it. Typically, it's between 10 to 40 barrels. And cask strength basically means that, like, whenever you buy a whiskey that's not cask strength, typically what they're doing is they're adding water to it to bring it down to a certain ABV, so that it tends to be easier to drink. It's not quite as hot. A lot of things like that. Cask strength is sans water, no water.
Straight from the barrel.
Straight from the barrel, yeah.
Straight
Higher
from Jim Beam's teat.
Exactly. So this is 128 proof. So it's significantly higher than the typical, which is going to be right around 90 proof.
It smells very vanilla to me. There's getting a lot of vanilla notes and sort of sweet
orange,
creme brulee.
Yeah,
it's
molasses and I get a lot of
my lips are still numb from drinking it. It's good. I love that.
It's definitely potent.
I get a little bit of cedar, some tropical fruit and orange. I definitely have some honey in there. The sweetness is definitely there in the nose.
Yeah. Wow.
It is very hot.
It's pretty hot.
It is super hot,
But it is,
which is not necessarily bad. It's a great thing.
No.
I love how hot it is. It is not like you hear the word, ooh, that tastes so smooth. We talked about this before in previous episodes.
Yeah.
This is not that,
This is not...
and I love it because of that.
So Booker actually recommends that you add a little water to this. That'll open it up. The term you may have heard us talk about as well. Opening it up just means that you get a little bit more of the complexity of the flavors and that sort of thing. There's a chemical reaction that happens within the whiskey that with a little bit of water.
Well, then that motherfucker should added some water to it.
I actually like it at cast strength. It's really, really nice. It's got a long, hot, spicy finish to it.
Oh, it is a bit spicy, yeah.
Which is really interesting
for
for a bourbon. Typically, it's just sweet. This has like almost a rye spiciness to it, or not really peppery, but maybe more cinnamon.
Oh yeah, it does have that, right? Like cinnamon heat to it.
Yeah.
That is not.
Yeah.
That's not pepper, right? You're right. Yep.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I love this bottle. This is
I do too. This is amazing, Bobby.
Very nice.
Thanks
Thank you for sharing.
with us. This is really, really good. So when I typically am not as into this hot of a whiskey, but I feel like over time, like you have to sort of develop a resistance to the heat, if you know what I mean. So as you become more of an alcoholic, this tastes better. Like it just becomes like a more of a. It's just easier to take that like really harsh, like hardcore burn.
I'm getting a little bit of that like cinnamon Jolly Rancher aftertaste. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. It's great.
I want to have this with like a dessert.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like a bananas Foster.
Pour this on ice cream?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like bananas and ice cream, like, something like that.
Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm
Vanilla
going
ice
to pour
cream.
the rest of this on ice cream tonight, and I'm going to light it on fire. Bobby,
there you
thank
go,
you
Bobby.
for
There you
thanks for giving me some of this $100 bourbon. Appreciate it.
Great.
Lighting that shit on fire.
Chris is going to freebase it.
Nice.
I'm going to dry it down to a powder and I'm going to snort it off my keyboard.
You gotta get creative. See, this is
you do.
This is why Chris isn't bored. This is why I'm bored.
Quarantine.
And Chris is
Dude,
not
I got all
bored.
kinds of stuff going on. I got all kinds of shit going on. What's wrong with you guys? I've killed half my brain. Creative half gone. Just analytical
Wait a
half
minute, you had a
remains.
creative half of your brain?
Yeah, now it's just the analytical
Yeah.
side. And it's like, we should totally light this shit on fire.
So now you have there's nothing stopping you from murdering people now. So now you're just running purely on logic.
Effectively.
Wow. I'm glad I survived our meeting.
What do you have to offer society? Let's be very analytical about
Oh,
this.
very little. very little.
You must be purged. I'm with Bill Gates now.
but I
Bill
do-
Gates and I think you must be purged.
But I do have something to offer you. So
Oh, you do?
yeah, I give you wine.
Oh.
Okay.
That's why I'm still
Yeah,
alive.
you
you're
have to
in.
admit.
I take it back.
If it wasn't for Elyas,
good.
what the hell would you be drinking today?
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, it's so true. God. I'd just be drinking this orange wine all by myself.
Hey guys, all of this is made possible by PureVPN.
PureVPN, we should all be using PureVPN now in the era of us being all at home and streaming our whole lives.
So tell me, what is a VPN?
A VPN, Chris Price, is a virtual private network. Am I not correct?
It is. So let's just pretend like you want to remain anonymous while doing some sort of any kind of shopping activity, anything you want to do online that might be something where you don't want people to track you, you just
Where you don't
pop
want your
on that
ISP
VPN.
to know exactly what you're doing all the time, for commercials to follow you everywhere you
Yeah.
go, or any other time you want to stay anonymous.
Sometimes I click the wrong link in Reddit and I end up on the Beefucker website. I don't want my
You don't want to
website.
record that.
I don't want to record that happening. That's why I
So-
turn on my peer VPN every time I hop on the internet.
So it keeps you clear of tracking by locking down cookies, device IDs, IP mapping, and geolocation information?
Yes,
Absolutely.
Bobby.
I
That
didn't
sounds
just read that
exactly
off
right.
of a
No.
list.
That sounds exactly right.
And you get a 30-day free trial, so you can try it for 30 days. And if you don't like it, you can always get your money back. And I assume, Chris, it's pretty easy to use.
Super easy. You install it, and then they track all of your personal information. You push one button, and you're online.
There you go.
PureVPN.
And where do I get it?
Go to alcoholu.com and click on the banner.
That sounds so easy.
It's
Click on the
so
banner.
easy.
It's going to be amazing.
Do you guys want to do game show?
Yes.
Little game show?
So
I just wanna-
so am I gonna place the text of the names you have to say on the screen, and then you have to say them, Bobby, or how's this gonna work?
Oh, that's what we're doing.
No. We can do what we can do.
We're gonna make fun of my inability to pronounce words.
We
Awesome.
love
we can do
getting
a game
Bobby
show.
to
We'll
say
do-
words.
We'll do it next week.
Okay.
We can do that one next week because I want Elyas and I to get together on it, and I want us to collaborate and corroborate on that activity.
Okay. So tune in next
Bobby's
week.
very good at all words that come from the American South, but he's not very good at any words that come from anywhere outside of that.
All right. Well, so today we're going to do game show. I'm going to throw out a booze-related term, word, or phrase, and you'll both have 25 seconds to write your definition down.
Okay.
We'll read them.
I'll do it via private message to you, Bobby, inside of Zoom because it's a feature that it has.
That's awesome. We'll read them and see who got the closest, or who was, or whose was the funniest. You guys ready?
Totally ready.
Ready.
Let me get a clock going here. All right, guys. What does heads, hearts, and tails refer to? Go.
How long do we
5
have?
seconds.
5?
20, you got.
Yep, I got it. Oh, Jesus.
10 seconds. I'm sorry, 5 seconds. 2 seconds. 1 second. There you go. All right. So, Chris, you wrote where to make your cut from the alcohol, for the alcohol, either the head, the heart, or the tail. And Elyas, head is the start of distillation, heart is the middle, and tail is the end. The heart is the best part. I love getting heads. Awesome.
I love getting heads.
So you guys were both accurate, but Elyas wins not only in accuracy,
I win.
but from humor as well. All right, excellent. We've got one more.
Yeah.
I got one more
Suck
for
it,
you.
Chris.
I would prefer not to.
I believe I already
timer.
stated my preference.
All right, 25 seconds to define fusel oil.
What?
Fusel oil.
You're making
Ready?
this up.
Go.
Really?
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. I think this one was made up. I think you made it up.
All right, Elyas, you wrote fusel oil is used to rub your fuselage, and the faster you rub, the sooner you get results. Okay.
I believe there is some level of truth to that.
Chris, you wrote extra alcohol from fermenting stuff. Also, what Elyas emits after a bathroom break.
In quotes. Bathroom break.
Oh my God. Okay, so what it actually is it's
That's
a term to
eerie how we
describe
both
the
think the
higher
same thing.
alcohols. Generally, the various forms of propanol, butanol, and amyl alcohol, which are cogeners or byproducts of ethanol fermentation.
It's the
Basically,
bad part of alcohol.
It's what makes you
It's all,
blind.
the, it's all the bad shit.
what gives you the hangover.
Why is it an oil?
Fuck if I know, man. That's just what they call it. Fusel oils have higher boiling points. I don't know.
Can I use it as a lube?
You might be able to.
Just curious.
You know, fusel is a German term.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You're going to touch your fusel monkey?
I'm going to say that one goes to Chris.
Yes.
Wow. I was robbed.
Oh. No, I mean, it is what it is.
Well, Chris, tell us a little bit about your tell us a little bit about your wine. How much was it? Where'd you get it?
My wine was $24. I got it from Molly's Bottle Shop. That is a little shop here in Seattle. It's actually pretty cool. She's great. You all may have heard us doing our live show with Molly, and that's who I got this from. So during the I have to tell you guys just the experience of buying wine from her, especially inside of the lockdown, stay at home, stay healthy, has been really great. She makes you feel safe when you come in there because everything is it's like one customer at a time, and every bottle is like wiped down and then handed over in a box. So it's pretty cool. It's a great experience as a consumer to go in there, especially during this difficult time. But at the same time, she's got the best selection. Well, I won't say the. I know Elyas may argue this once in a while because he has his own favorite wine shop.
I love
no big
Molly's.
deal.
Molly has an incredible selection.
She has an amazing selection. And I have to say, I'd make the 45-minute trip there every couple weeks to go buy wine.
I'm with you, man. I that's my go-to now.
It's my spot.
I like to spread my love around, and every shop has a different sort of thing that they focus on. I think Molly is very, very focused on smaller producers and more sort of obscure grape varieties. And she has a mix of sort of like classic European varieties and some more like funky, hipster sort of wines. And then like Lorsan, a really good mix of like really funky, hipstery sort of stuff. If I want weirder stuff, I go there. And then Petit Soif and Vif are more classic European, less sort of hipster. So, every shop has its sort of specialty.
That's true. Yeah. So $22, winesearcher.com. Is that what you said?
Yeah, Wine Searcher,
earlier?
you can go in there, check it out, see where it's
I'm
available.
sure it's there. I'm sure it's on there. While you're talking about yours, I'll take a look.
All right, so I have the Vajra Langhe Rosso, which I got from my local sort of gourmet supermarket, Metropolitan Market, which is a local family-owned sort of grocery chain here in Seattle. But I think like a Whole Foods or most other sort of, you might even be able to find this in a Safeway or Giant. It's possible. It is sort of on that level that it could be, it's distributed nationally, and you can go on Wine Searcher and check it out. I bought it on sale at Metropolitan Market, which means the on sale price at Metropolitan Market is going to be more than the regular price at most other places. So I got it for $18.99. I think they normally sell it for about $22 or $23 there. You can, going on Wine Searcher, it's available anywhere from like $13 to about $17 across the country and in Washington also. So if you find it, or you could go maybe to more of a big box wine retailer, and they probably would have it too. But it's going to be around probably $16, $17, probably average across the country. This one has a screw cap.
Love the screw cap.
Yeah,
so good.
Great.
It's nice.
Picnic wine.
Yep.
But it's just a nice, reliable, dependable wine that I think a broad range of, people who have a broad range of tastes would like. So,
I found, I looked up on Ancarani, on Serrani, whichever one it is, on Wine Searcher, and, not available in all 50 states. So get fucked.
yeah.
It's delicious. You'll never taste it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Until the next
It's like it's like owning the $1 Million Wu-Tang album.
Yeah.
Nobody else gets to hear it. Just one person. That asshole who's the drug guy.
So,
Pharmaceutical guy, right?
Yeah, a
there's
pharma
actually,
bro.
there's actually like
he's in jail now.
an herbally sort of note coming off of this now.
Some dried herbs. I mean, I think that's very that's another one of those sort of Italian things that makes me think like instantly Italy. Dried sort of, I don't know, rosemary or...
It's interesting, yeah. It actually reminds me of, there's a couple of gins that I've had that have that similar...
little botanical note to it.
Yeah. I mean, not that gins taste like red wine, but there's a similar flavor note in there.
I mean, I'm getting like a little bit of like maybe violets also. It's such a complex, it's not over the top. It's not like, it's, just crazy fruity or whatever, but the more you drink it, you get like a little violet, you get a little rosemary, you get a little, raspberry or whatever. It keeps it interesting. It's a wine that I think you can have all on its own or paired with food. It's just very versatile, very friendly. I think it's just a winner. It's a great wine that I think a lot of people would like.
So the Bookers, this bottle is actually from my personal collection.
Wow.
It's a 2013 batch. One of the things about Booker's is it's actually now run by his son, but they do individual batches, and once that batch is done, they don't keep remaking it. They go for a different flavor profile and see what they can come up with, and then they'll bottle that and they'll go on to the next one. So this was from 2013. This bottle specifically, if you were to look online. I've seen it at auctions and some online retailers for about $325.
Holy crap.
But that's just because
it's expensive.
They don't make it anymore. Like, so when I bought it, it was an $85 bottle.
Oh.
And you can still buy Booker's bottles, whatever he happens to be kicking out today. You can buy it for about $85 in taxes. In Washington State, that puts you at about $105. So it's not a cheap whiskey.
Sure.
But clearly, it's a good one. And little did I know that it was going to go up that much in value. I probably wouldn't have
given us any.
Drank my only bottle. I wouldn't have given you any. Yeah. Good investment.
I can't wait to put this on ice cream tonight.
Oh my God.
On fire.
It's
gonna be delicious.
So is this you would say the Booker's is a safer investment than the stock market?
Right now? Yep.
It is delicious. Thank you, Bobby.
Yeah, very good. Well, that's an hour you won't get back. You can learn more about the bottles we tried today at our website, alcoholu.com. Also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at AYL the podcast, and continue the discussion with pics, notes, and questions, and we may share them on our next episode. We actually did get a question from a listener in Spain, actually.
No way.
Yeah. She asked about mezcals. Please share and subscribe, rate and review us wherever you get your podcasts. We can use all the help we can get. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Tune in and you may hear Chris say,
let's visit the Beefucker website together with PureVPN.
And Elyas says,
Fusel oil this, mofo.
Our engineering team features the fabulous John Baroker and Adrian Gutierrez of Hereby Sound. Our theme music was composed and performed by Flex Vector. We recorded today's episode in our separate, undisclosed locations. That's it. Goodbye.
Bye.
Later.
I'll Call You Later is brought to you by Pear Shape Productions, copyright 2020.